Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to Taking in the Nub. This is episode 25 of season 1. 25 we're into. I cannot believe I've been doing this for 25 shows. But tonight I got a really special show. I want to tell everybody happy Labor Day. Kick back, relax, have some drinks, fire up your best cigar, because we're going to be rolling right now with the Cigar Clowns. Now, don't take that as funny as it sounds. These guys are serious. I'm going to bring them in right now. Two very good friends, Ray and Nick. So these guys right here come in from Brooklyn, New York. So I have very fond memories of Brooklyn. But hello, Ray. Hello, Nick. How are you doing? Welcome to Taking It to the Nub.
Jim, what is up?
What is up?
Thank you for having us first and foremost. We really appreciate it. It's
Labor Day. It's September of 2020. Who won the Kentucky Derby? I didn't even. Did Tiz the Law win? I didn't even check. Somebody check that when you get a chance.
Your guess is as good as mine. I didn't even look. The world we live in, you don't even check up on things anymore.
Introduce yourselves so everybody knows who Nick and Ray are, because I'm going to tell my audience, I've known these guys for 49 seconds. I know a little longer than Ray.
It's been a long 29 seconds.
But I'm going to tell you, we just met through some cigar exchange, and I'm going to let Ray introduce themselves briefly, who you are, where are you from, and we'll get into who the Cigar Clowns are in a moment.
All right. I guess I'll take the lead. My name is Ray. I'm originally from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I now reside on Staten Island. Me and Nick's relationship goes back about, what do you say, Nick, 25 years?
Easily.
Roughly?
Easily. About.
So, basically, we met each other actually in the catering business back in, I think I started there back in like 97 or 98. I was like a sophomore in high school. And we met in the catering world. I worked my way up from the bottom to the top, as they say. Nikki had left at a certain point while I was there. We kind of lost touch for a little bit. I found my way into cigars from my grandfather, believe it or not. And he introduced me to cigars, and I was taking a liking to them. And me and Nikki had, actually because of Facebook, ended up finding each other again. I found that he moved to Staten Island. We had a rekindling of our relationship, and Nikki's pretty much the reason why I'm smoking the cigars I smoke today, and majority of my palate is based off of his knowledge and love for the leaf, and he kind of passed it down to me, and we kind of call it our cigar branch, our cigar tree of life. So, he's passed his knowledge down to me, I pass it on to other people, and it's just been it's been a great relationship over 25 years, and we've been smoking cigars for a long time, and we're pretty much decided, what this whole COVID thing was going on, we said to ourselves, like, why don't we turn this hobby of ours that we love so much? We have such a love for the culture and a love for the smoking cigars and the camaraderie in cigars, and sitting in a cigar lounge with all different types of walks of life, and just the whole community as far as cigars is concerned, such a great experience. Like, why can't we turn this hobby into a business, or work our way to turn our club into something where we can make cigars and we can put something out there for people and do something different than everybody else is doing out there as of right now. And that's kind of the model that we're going with, moving forward.
Right, so we'll get into that in a moment.
I'm sure Nikki wants to some.
So let's get into that. We'll get at it in a little bit. Nick, who is Nick?
So born and raised Brooklyn, New York, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Like Ray had said, I had met him through the catering business. The Cigar Clowns, there's 6 of us admins out there, and we became friends all through cigars and long friendships. 2 of the guys on the main group of the 6 of us, I've known 25 years plus. Cigars to me, it did route down to my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather, he lived till 99 years old. He would smoke box of cigars a week and a gallon of wine a day. The day the doctor said you can't smoke cigars anymore, 2 days later, unfortunately, he passed away. But and that's when he was smoking White Owls. You know, there wasn't really a choice of smokes out there.
Yeah.
But I've personally been smoking since high school, 18, 19 years old. And I've developed different types of flavors, profiles. As I got into it more, when I rekindled with Ray, I was really into a lot of cigars that would give off a lot of black pepper, spice, and it continues to grow. And the search for the perfect stick is a journey, and Ray's been on that journey along with, like I said, the other 5 guys: Joe, Murphy, Danny, and Bart. So we're on that journey together, and we didn't want to do it alone. So we decided, we have this group already. The Cigar Clowns have been around since 2018, but we really didn't do anything with it. So we decided to step it up a little bit and bring everybody on our journey.
All right.
So,
what are you all smoking tonight? Speaking of great cigars, I'll just kick it off. I'm smoking a Viva La Vida Club 500. I think this is the last one I had. So big shout out to Billy and Gus. Great cigar.
Great stick. Love it. Myself, I am actually smoking in celebration of our second release is selling out. I'm smoking our first release that we did, which was a 6x52 San Andreas Nicaraguan Nicaraguan binder, and it's, I think, my one more left after this one in the humidor.
Well, I went a little bit more old school than Ray, and I'm smoking from 2018. When we first put some cigars together to try,
the Unicorn.
My humidor, I've been waiting for some time to. Yeah, I think I have 3 left.
There you go.
So those have gone, and I said, you know what, I'm going to enjoy one tonight. We have our third release coming soon. We're getting amped. Good flavors coming. So that's what I'm on tonight.
So what are you pairing it with?
I am drinking a stout, Dragon Stout.
Okay.
From Jamaica, made in Jamaica.
Jamaica Queens.
Ray actually turned me on to stouts recently. No, Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica.
So,
yeah, I'm from New York.
But,
I still
Ray,
know.
Not Jamaica Queens, the actual Jamaica.
And I'm drinking with some.
Yeah, the actual Jamaica. So Ray.
Yes.
Yeah, so Ray.
I'm smoking the Sweet Baby Java, which is a
with stout.
espresso bean infused chocolate peanut butter porter, which goes great with the stick with the flavors in our first one.
I bet it does.
Really good.
Let's talk a little bit about Cigar Clowns. So you contacted me, Nick, a few weeks ago, and you said, hey, I got this thing I'm doing. We got this club thing, and I'm going to send you, I'll send you a couple of cigars and you can review them and let me know what you think about it. But as I got into understanding more about it, I learned that Cigar Clowns, it's not really a club, it's a Facebook group. So explain the concept to people, how they become a member of the Facebook group, and then what happens once they are part of the group, and what is this journey thing you've talked about?
So basically, I'm going to put it to you like this, Jim. We're trying to change what the common ground in the cigar industry is. We're trying to do something a little different, a little bit unique, right? So we're not really a business. We're not really making boxes of cigars or lines of cigars, or we kind of consider ourselves to be like underground bootleggers, if that makes sense. Like prohibition bootleggers is the best way I can describe what we're trying to do. So what we're trying to do is we're going out to different factories, and we're reaching out to different factories, and we're finding those little bit gems that maybe got pushed to the side, in the back, in the corner, on the left, on the ground somewhere that nobody forgot about, that somebody put together 5 years ago, didn't buy them or didn't get the stock that they wanted. They had extra and they left it open. They kind of pushed it aside. It was never banded, was never picked up by anybody. And we're taking those cigars and we're trying them out, and we're kind of looking at the cusp of the the flavors and the profiles that we like, and we're trying to put them out there. And we do limited runs. It's ultra premium tobacco. We have a great connect that we use. Unfortunately, we're keeping it disclosed for the time being, for a little bit of time, and we're basically going out there and we're finding whatever we can get. It can be this number, it can be that number, it can be it can be however many numbers you think. But we're kind of keeping on the cusp of keeping it ultra rare, ultra limited premium stuff. That's why we said we wanted to reach out to you and kind of grab your ear and see what you thought about it, because we know what you're about, and we've been following you for a while, even though we haven't really connected with one another. Nikki put me on to you a while back, and we figured, first of all, gracious review. We appreciate the review that you gave us. It's uplifting and gives us the confidence to want to move forward with what we're doing when we get somebody like that who appreciates it.
I gotta tell you, Ray, and I said it in there. I have no idea what that cigar is. I have no idea, other than the blend you told me. I have no idea the factory it comes from. I have no idea exactly how old that was. I only know tidbits of information about that. And it's always fun to smoke a cigar that you know nothing absolutely about, that nobody's ever
Right.
And I'm a person
Yes, exactly.
who is big on burn, okay? I obviously, there's points that I take off all the time on that. And that cigar...
No deductions.
Were like, there's nothing wrong. This thing was just
awesome.
Burn. I mean, no, you didn't get the super long ash bonus point.
Right.
You didn't get the oily right above the burn. But I'm going to tell you, there was absolutely zero burn issues with that cigar. It was complex, okay, to enough. It wasn't overly complex. It was just, it was as you would expect in what I would figure a kind of an aged cigar would be, where some of that complexity tones down a little bit. The nuances are there. Right. They're not in your face all the way through. And it isn't burned so well, and the aromas and flavors that came in, I was just like, I was blown away. I said, this is, and it is no more available. So screw you. I want to find more.
But the journey continues.
How does this journey go? How does somebody get involved in this journey?
So what happens is we have a Facebook group. We have our Instagram group at Cigar Clowns. If you want to join, just follow us, join us. And then we post up when the new line, the new drop comes. Once you've ordered from us before, now you're our repeated customer list. And we give you the heads up that it's coming before it's even released onto our pages. So you get first dibs. So once you catch it the first time, the following times, you're always asked first prior to being put out for new members. In New York, we keep our families very tight.
Yeah, so friend of ours.
Even though you're wearing a Boston hat.
Okay, listen, Jimmy, it's like the Omerta and the Mafia. It's our thing.
But Jimmy, I know down deep inside, we had a discussion a while back how you came from New York, and you still have that New York in you, even though you have that Boston hat on.
Oh yeah, I mean I tell you what, man. I mean, just because, and I've been living. My wife and I had this weird conversation today. We realized that, I am not from New York. I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm not from Long Island. I am from Melbourne, Florida, because I've lived here for 37 plus years. That's more than I've lived anywhere in my whole life. So therefore, I'm really Floridian. In Florida now. I was born on Long Island. I lived in Brooklyn for 4 years going through college. I went to Pratt Institute down in the Clinton Hill district, out between Bed-Stuy and Fort Greene back in the 1970s. That was a fun moment of my life. I worked in Coney. I worked at a wine and cheese place down on Coney Island Avenue and Avenue Z called the Grapevine. You guys might, I don't know,
Okay.
but there was this little place down there that was jam-packed every Friday and Saturday. Even in the middle of the dead of winter and the snow and the cold, people were lined up outside to get into this joint. It was crazy. It was
Really?
beautiful. But that's what I did. That was my, my New York experience. And every time I go home to New York, and I call it home because I grew up there, I enjoy it. I enjoy going into the city. Going into Brooklyn just blows my mind these days because my Brooklyn and your maybe
it's changed a lot. My Brooklyn's different than people's Brooklyn now, and I'm only 37, so it's even changed even that much for me growing up and growing up in Brooklyn.
Crazy, right? How fast it's changed.
It's wild, man. Yeah, it's wild.
It's
The way neighborhoods change and people come and go, and it's just it's wild. It's crazy. Well, it's funny because I like, for me, like, I made the pilgrimage to Staten Island. So we as Italians from Brooklyn and Bedford, it's called the Guinea Pilgrimage. You go over the Guinea Gangplank, which is the Verrazano to Staten Island, and your next stop is Jersey. So I'm halfway there.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
And right after that, you'll spend another years and you'll end up down by me.
Then I'm going south. South is going all the way south.
95, go south.
95, until I run out of gas, that's where I'm going.
So when you go into back to Brooklyn, all right, or just in New York in general, 5 boroughs, what are some of your favorite cigar shops in 5 boroughs?
So for me, we have a local shop out here by us, the Cigar Vault on Page Avenue in Staten Island, which is probably the best cigar lounge for me on Staten Island as far as stock is concerned, as far as hanging out is concerned. It's a great lounge. It's a great place, great atmosphere. I would say I work in Queens. So Harry Savannah Hut in Bayside, Queens is one of my favorite places. You want to talk about
Love Harry.
You want to talk about relics? You want to talk about relics? This guy doesn't even know half the stuff he has. Me and Nick have found.
Baby, how does he say that word?
Baby, baby, you got baby. I love him. He's such a great guy. What a great guy, man. Harry's the best. Harry probably for me is one of the best cigar owners in brick and mortar in the industry in the country, in my opinion. Love Harry. Harry's a great guy.
I disagree with that.
Great guy, man. Great guy. We'll go out of his way to get you. We'll find you something. If you can't find it, he'll order it for you. He'll go in the humidor and he'll be underneath boxes pulling things out that he doesn't even know he has. It's great. It's unbelievable. Nicky can vouch for it too.
Yes, that guy is definitely unbelievable on his stock.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
How about you, Nick? What's your favorite? Some of your favorite shops?
Well, like Ray said, the Cigar Vault is our main spot on Page Avenue on Staten Island because that's where we live closest to, and they also have the best variety of cigars on the entire island. But I do venture out to Brooklyn once in a blue moon, and I'll go over to the Humidor in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Great spot.
Very nice owner there, Angelo. He works with you. He's willing to help you out on whatever you're looking for. When it comes to Queens, I would definitely say Harry's is the #1 spot to go. The Bronx, I haven't really hit up too much other than, Arthur Avenue. Got to get my Italian food on. So they do have Arthur Avenue cigars there. I've been to their cigars aren't bad. I've been there a couple of times through different events and stuff.
You ever been to the Harlem Cigar Room?
I have not been to the Harlem Cigar Room.
That's that's a very interesting place.
Look into.
Owned by a great Dominican friend.
So I frequent Jersey a lot too.
Felix?
Jersey. I love to go to Jersey.
You ever been to Sticks in New Jersey in Rahway?
Yes.
Great guy.
Great place. Great little place.
Yep.
Great guy. Yes, great guy. Great little spot. Got a nice little humidor. It's nice. Sanj up in Bloomfield. We've frequently visited a bunch of times. Main Street Cigars in Woodbridge is great. There's a lot of good places in New Jersey, man. A lot of good places. We also have a buddy Louis Liga down in Delaware that we go frequently visit every so often.
How do you find these gems for your journey? Do you go down to the Dominican, Nicaragua, places like that? How do you come across these gems?
Well, I'll use a mafia term and say if I'm going to tell you, I got to kill you. You know what I mean?
You got
No, I
friends
mean
in the
basically to sum it up is no. We got friends in the. We got you. Listen, we've really got lucky, and to be totally honest with you, and to be completely transparent, we've made really good connections in the industry, and branched out to a bunch of other connections through Nikki and myself, and we've just kind of like. I mean, we don't want to give too much away because, like I said, we're trying to keep that like bootlegger, like, under the radar, cult kind of thing going on for the time being. That's kind of like the motto we're building off of. So we don't want to give too much away. But I mean, we've made the right connections with the right people, and I mean, listen, we're truly blessed in that aspect as far as getting the things that we need and the things that we're looking for, and making the right connections is everything. It's like in anything. It's like it's in a job or a business or anything like that. You make the right connections, you make the right moves. You only go higher and higher and higher. You know what I mean? So I mean, like I said, without giving too much away, we've made a wide of a connection. We haven't been able to get down to go down to Nicaragua or anything like that right now with the pandemic going on. Especially for me with my regular 9-to-5 job. So because then you have to quarantine, all this other stuff. So I mean, it hasn't really happened for us yet. But I mean, we have a lot of things lined up moving forward, and a lot of good things moving forward. And we appreciate the love and support from everybody who's loved and supported us from when we started building this thing a couple of months ago, and to where we're at now. And obviously, thanks to you for having us on here and talking about it and going through the process with us. And we continue to be part of the journey with us. To be honest with you, Jim.
Who's got a picture of the logo? So you got the logo in the background. It's hard to see it. Do you have something you could show everybody? This really cool logo that you have.
Sure.
The Cigar Clowns. I mean,
absolutely.
it's just cool. Cool. There you go. Look at
there. You go.
I mean, that's just a neat logo. And what made you come up with this Cigar Clowns?
No. So basically, I mean, I'm going to kind of jump on Nick and say that this was my idea, but it was my idea. His saying that's on there was his idea. Basically, I mean, I was very nostalgic of Coney Island growing up as a kid. I was always there. I was like frequenting Nathan's and going to the Wonder Wheel, and something about the clown from Coney Island and just everything that Coney Island has come from it's in its infancy back in the early days, and through through all the years, and even when I was frequenting there when Coney Island was a bad neighborhood. You didn't want to step foot off of the Coney Island amusement park property in the 90s when I was going there as a kid, because it was a bad neighborhood. And the resurgence that it's had over the past couple of years and what they've built down there, and Coney Island to come back, and just everything about Coney Island. And we always said to ourselves that me and Nikki always considered ourselves to be a bunch of clowns. We're a bunch of clowns smoking cigars, blah, blah, blah. So I really thought about it, and paying homage to the place that we grew up. How could you not go with the Coney Island clown? I mean,
right.
It's vintage New York. It's vintage Brooklyn. It's everything that Brooklyn is at the end of the day. So I mean, that's kind of like what we came up with for the Coney Island clown, is paying homage to our roots as I think frequenting Coney Island as kids and stuff like that. That's where that aspect of our history comes from.
Joe's Casara wanted to know what I'm smoking. Joe, I'm smoking a Viva La Vida Club 500. You mentioned that earlier. You might have joined late. So fabulous cigar. So when you get these drops, so you've done, and you call them drops. So these are, you get you get 500, 1,000 cigars or something to ship out to members of your Facebook group and Instagram feeds.
Right.
You've had 2 of those. How often do you get a drop? And is it a scheduled thing, or is it just randomly you find something?
So the way it works for us is the first one that we had, was a really short run just to kind of like test the waters and see what people thought about it. And we got really good feedback on it. So, we reached back out to our Connect and we asked for something different because we kind of want to go along the lines of once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, that's kind of like the business model that we're trying to build around just to make us something different. So it's kind of like, let me get on this because I don't know what the next run's going to be. It could be something completely different. We're looking for different size, different blends, the whole nine. So, I mean, it comes in different variations. So like the first one we did, I think, what was the span, Nick? I would say about the time we got the second run out was probably about a month before we got the second run out. And now we're already in the process. We just sold out of the second run on Monday and we already have the third one already lined up coming. So I'm hopefully within the next couple of weeks, sooner than later, we're going to get there. We're going to try to, now that we kind of have a taste for how we're going about it, I think we're going to try to release a little bit quicker, and especially now we're taking these pre-orders and knowing that we have a little bit of a following gathering going on and people want it. And people already asked me, we sold the second run. People, well, when's the third one coming? What's next? This, that. So now we're getting a little bit of that buzz. So we're trying to feed off of that little bit of a buzz that we have. So, we're going to try to get it out as frequent as we can and get it to people because people are starting to dig it and kind of digging our business model for the time being as where we're going. So we have big things planned up in the future that are going to be coming, sooner than later. We're in the works with a couple of things, but to answer your question, we're going to try to get it out as quick as possible because we know the demand is going to be there.
All right. So when you get these now, the ones that you sent me, the Corona that I reviewed yesterday, Nick told me those were selling for $30 for a 5-pack. So $6 cigar blew my mind. I mean, last time I had a $6 cigar that blew my mind, I think I was your age. It's a long time ago. So the other one, the first drop, I think Nick told me they were I think they worked out to be about $9.
Correct.
So these cigars, as ultra rare and premium as they are,
right,
basically never really been on the market, but they are gems.
Right.
They're not really breaking your wallet gems. So these,
correct,
everybody's wheelhouse. And when I get, being part of the Facebook group, you will put out an announcement saying, hey, we got these in. Here's the latest drop. And here's how much they cost for a 5-pack. First come, first serve. When they're gone, they're gone. And if I understood Nick correctly, Nick, explain what happens if once you become a friend of the family, what happens is you're going to be sending out like a message blast or an email blast to those which already ordered, right? So explain how that process works.
Yeah. So I keep track of the names, me and the other guys, the admins. And what we did after the first round was whoever purchased from us the first round, we reached out to them prior to dropping them on the pages for the new members that have joined the groups. Now, once you ordered from us once, you'll be on that calling list. Basically, it's a messenger going out to you. It's going actually out for everyone. So you got first dibs. So you want to continue the journey? That's fantastic. You get to continue the journey.
Okay. And what happens if you don't order the next drop? Do you fall out of a friend of the family, or are you still friend of the family? Do you put them back on the regular members list if they don't order? Stay on the members, the pre-order list.
They would still get that messenger because they'd be in the group of people getting the message, and then if they don't want to deal with the messengers anymore, they'll just X themselves out.
Okay. How many?
Just to jump in real quick,
nobody's
Jim.
forced to.
Yeah.
Right. Just to jump in real quick before you ask your next one. So basically, I mean, we're trying to go along the lines of, where you know, you made the comment about, you know, the sticks being the price point that they're at, and, you know, ultra premium and stuff like that for people. I mean, I think the price point is great. Listen, we're trying to get people, the blue collar people, white collar people, whoever wants to be part of the journey to enjoy premium sticks at a good price. We're not, you know, we're trying to build a following here. You know, listen, we could turn around and sell these cigars for $12, $13, $14 if we really wanted to, but we're looking to build a following and bring everybody on this journey with us and enjoy premium cigars and ultra rare cigars or whatever finds we find. We want to share it with the people. We want to be a brand. We want to be a club for our members. You know what I mean? Listen, we're going to price point it where we're going to, you know, be able to get good stuff for people who want to and enjoy what we're doing and what we're going to be doing moving forward and moving on to bigger and better things. We're just going to continue to, you know, try to grow our members and try to grow our Instagram following and all of that. And we're trying to make it available for people who enjoy the art of smoking cigars just as much as we do. And me and Nick, just like you, we enjoy being brothers of the leaf. We enjoy the culture of cigars. We enjoy sitting on my deck on a beautiful night, sitting here talking to you, smoking a cigar, and just, you know, passing the time talking about whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's part of the culture, and we love the culture, and we love the journey we're on, and we want everybody to be on the journey with us.
So how many members do you currently have? How many members are on Facebook group, and how many subscribers to your Instagram do you have?
We have 313 as of right now on Facebook, and we have 292 on Instagram.
Okay.
Sorry, Nick.
So now on Facebook, you can go no more than 5,000, right? I think there's a limit. Facebook, Instagram, no limit, which is
no. You could go.
Right.
There's no. Facebook does not have a limit.
They do on a personal
40,000 members.
On a personal page.
So,
no, I'm sorry, you're right. On a personal page, you can only have 5, right, on the group, right? You can have unlimited. So you got up to 350. So how did that growth go? So, I mean, do you see it? Is it gradual? Have you started to see some spikes over the last few months?
Spikes. After the second run dropped, I mean, we've been seeing significant spikes. We've gotten a good jump on Facebook and Instagram, and we're growing rapidly. I mean, we're growing up to the point where we're getting members pretty much every day, whether it's anywhere between 2 to 5 to 10 to whatever. So I mean, yeah, we're growing at a rocket pace, but we're definitely picked up momentum after the second run.
Now, have you thought about what happens now as you grow? So there's a scaling thing here, right? So you're going to grow. What is the percentage of members that are ordering a 5-pack drop, would you say?
I say, believe it or not, Jim, for right now, for us, we have a lot of people that are pretty much hand delivering, which is good to start. We're starting to build the social media aspect of our sales little by little. It's a little bit on the slower side, but it's gaining momentum as we speak, especially after the second run. But I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of people that we know who know people who know people who know people are kind of spreading the word that way through the general, like, you know, tri-state area in the boroughs. It's kind of, you know, getting a little bit of a buzz. So we're getting a little bit more of our sales from that for the time being. And we're trying to build the Instagram and the Facebook following moving forward. So I would say, you know, majority of our sales are pretty much hand delivery, which is fine by us. Again, you know, you got to start on the bottom to get somewhere. And, you know, we take baby steps. We're trying to take a little bit more than baby steps as we move forward. I mean, we're getting there day by day, and it's starting to, you know, people are being added by people who know people and spreading the word and stuff like that. So, I mean, we're getting.
Yeah, so Nick, so Ray, you kind of froze there for a minute. So Nick, maybe you can continue a little. So my point is
So
there comes a time when the number of people that are following and are members of the group end up being more than you can supply cigars to. Does that become an issue? Are you able to get, as you
I don't see it.
you're going to be able to get more cigars in a batch?
Yes.
Yes, I don't see a problem with that happening at all.
Nick, if you want to jump on that, you can.
If we need to get more cigars, thank you. If if we can get cigars to have those hidden gems and start using those, like Ray said, we're trying to keep it to the ultra rare, small batches coming out to keep it interesting to see how it actually goes forward and give people something interesting to look forward to. Something different every time, different blend sizes. It's a growing community together.
So have you considered doing something like a Zoom or whereby Cigar Clown Smoking Lounge to have a discussion about the latest drop? I'll just give you an idea. I think it would be very cool to have some of the members come on and talk about the latest drop and discuss it.
Absolutely, yes. It's something that's been discussed. It's actually funny that you brought that up. We were actually just talking about that not too long ago. Actually, in our last meeting, we were talking about doing that. We have Danny, who's our director of events and something. Obviously, we can't do anything really too crazy right now with this COVID thing and going to a lounge and having a herf or having an event at a place right now. But we have talks with the works now that we're starting to gain a little bit of steam. Yeah, it's something that's been talked about that we're looking to do moving forward. That we would like to do. We would like to hear feedback from the members. We would like to hear what people think. We would like to hear that's why we say comment, post. Let us know what you think. Let us know what's going on. If we're doing the right thing. If it's something you think we should change, if it's this particular one you weren't too fond of but the last one you loved, give us that kind of general what your stance is on each one that we do. Is we want the feedback, we need the fact. But listen, it's like being a brick and mortar without having the clientele telling you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. You can never grow in the direction that you want to grow in at the end of the day. So for me, yeah, it's definitely something that's in the works and that we're working on. We have certain people that, like Nicky said, going back to what he said earlier, we started this from the bottom and, we turned around to ourselves and we said, you know what, we need to bring in a couple more guys who we're close, that we grew up with or who we know or who we've become friends with for 20 plus years, 10 plus years, and who are really good at certain aspects of the business model that we're trying to do. And we have people set in place that are doing specific things for our group. So, it helps us kind of, put out there what we want to put out there content wise and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely something that's been discussed that we're actually working on as we speak. But yeah, it's something definitely we would like to do.
Now, earlier when we talked about pairings, you both brought out some really nice craft beers. So I'm taking it you are craft beer fans?
Yes.
So talk about some of your favorite beers that you like to pair with cigars.
Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I'm not a very big drinker when it comes to drinking at all. Like I said, I just recently got into stouts due to Ray.
You're
introducing me to. I think it's the stout he's drinking tonight, or at least the brand of that stout, that peanut butter chocolate stout, and it really blended well with that first cigar. And I'm starting to go out and buy some different stouts and trying. Like I said, right now I'm having a dragon stout, and it's going very well with the cigar I'm smoking this evening. So, like I said, I'm not the big drinker. Ray would know more of that stuff.
For me, I'm a big stout guy. I like dark beer. I'm not a hoppy guy. I'm not into the hops. I don't want to drink something I feel like I'm chewing on a hop. So I'm not IPAs. Very, very rarely I drink an IPA. I'm more of a stout guy. I'm a Guinness drinker at heart. That's my heart. That's my go-to whenever I go out. I'm a Guinness man. I've always been a Guinness man. I've branched off into other smaller companies like the Claw. As far as stouts are concerned, I like different flavors. I like chocolate stouts. I like oatmeal stouts. I think they pair great with any type of dark Maduro stick. If I'm doing something on the Habano side or Connecticut, I'm a Scotch drinker at heart. I love my Scotches. I'm a big Johnny Walker guy. I actually have Johnny Walker tattooed on my ankle. The logo. I'm not gonna lift up my foot because I'm not in a position to. So yeah. So I'm a Scotch drinker at heart. I like my bourbons. I get into those too, but listen, if I can, like Nick said, with our first run stick and even with our second run stick, just do Claw. Sweet Baby Jesus is probably one of my favorites that I'm drinking right now currently. We actually have
Baby Jesus.
a brewery on Staten Island. Yeah, we have a brewery on Staten Island called Flagship, which is actually put out. And I'm also a Brooklyn brewery guy too, coming from Brooklyn. Not because I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But
Oh man, they're brown.
Brooklyn brewery.
Ah.
Brooklyn brewery is my thing, man. I love Brooklyn brewery, and I'm still sad to this day that they got rid of the 55 Penn Ale because it was my absolute favorite go-to beer that I love that they make, that they no longer make and haven't made it for a very long time. But their summer ale is great. Their regular line, as far as hop is concerned, that's like my hop limit is the regular Brooklyn. But yeah, man, Brooklyn and Flagship's doing some good things out here. They've got some pilsners and some ales that they've put out that are really good. I'm a big, which I actually just saw today when I was in the store, the Sam Oktoberfest is out, which is one of my favorites for this time of year for the fall coming up. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, and if I'm not in the alcoholic mood, it's either a water or Crystal Light iced tea for me, to pretty much sum it up on the non-alcoholic side of it.
Root beer and cream sodas.
Mm-hmm.
There's a craft orange cream soda that my shop here has. And I'm not in a drinking mood. I get one of those craft orange cream sodas. Oh, it is so good. It's got that.
My fancy.
What is it called? What?
I don't know the my fancy because I love it. I love Stewart's orange cream soda.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I got one more for you. Manhattan Special.
I don't know that.
It's an espresso soda.
I do like a Manhattan Special. I do like my coffee.
Nick, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Williamsburg. They do it on tap at this place in Williamsburg. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable. If you like espresso, unbelievable.
It's at Fernando's in Carroll Gardens. It's right off of
there you go, Fernando's Carroll Gardens.
Hicks.
So for a bunch of New Yorkers,
right? Okay.
People go in there and they come out with their eyes wide open.
Have you ever paired a cigar? And this is for the New Yorkers crowd, because most of the people who are from New York are not going to have one clue what I'm talking about. You guys will know. Have you ever paired it with a New York egg cream?
Sure.
I mean, that.
Oh, why not?
That is amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay, just for those that don't know what a New York,
it's a New York staple. It's just like a New York staple, like the Dirty Water Dogs in Manhattan.
Yeah, for those that don't know what a New York cream is, all right, it's you take an old-fashioned Coca-Cola glass, you put about that much whole milk in the bottom, and then you got to go run around and find Bosco's chocolate syrup. Can't be Hershey's, can't be any other stuff. It's got to be Bosco's. A unique flavor,
correct,
to it, and you squirt in some of that, right?
Absolutely.
And then you take seltzer water, not club soda. It's got to be seltzer, right? Over and used to be in soda fountains, soda drinks, but you would take the seltzer water over a spoon, and you pour it over the spoon into that, and then once it gets up to about 3/4 of the way, you stir it real fast, and it create it. It's like a child's Guinness, because it's this dark milk chocolate brown bottle with a white creamy top on it. So when you drink it, you're going to get Guinness mustache. But it is so good. Yep. I mean, and I make them here when I can find the bottle of syrup, and it's just so good with a cigar. They should be doing
the only difference is for me is I use U-Bet.
Huh?
U-Bet is my chocolate syrup.
Oh, U-Bet. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
U-Bet is very good.
That's right. And believe it or not, there's a couple of places still in Brooklyn that do it the old school vintage style of the New York egg cream.
I go to a diner, New York diner. Favorite New York diner. Hey, there you go. What's your favorite New York diner?
They closed
unfortunately,
down.
It's not in existence anymore. It's not in existence anymore. The Vegas Diner on 86th Street in Brooklyn. My home base. I actually had this conversation with Nick not too long ago. I'm so disappointed that I will never be able to bring my kids there, because that was the staple for me growing up as a kid through high school. It was in walking distance from my high school. I went to New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn, and I spent a lot of time there. When we worked in the catering business, that's where every time we ended a shift on a weekend, whether it was Saturday and Sunday, we were at Vegas Diner to eat every single weekend that we worked. Doesn't matter what we were doing, that was a staple of what we did all the time. And you get a vanilla Pepsi with the vanilla syrup in it, or you get a cherry Coke with the real cherry syrup in it, or you get these New York Bay cream. Yeah, man. Yeah,
And a cheeseburger deluxe.
Places are gone. It sucks. A cheeseburger deluxe with mutts on the fries and gravy.
That's it. Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
Disco fries, bro. Yes, sir.
What's your favorite?
Disco fries all day long.
What's your favorite cheesecake? This should be a
Do you really
no-brainer.
have to answer that question? Do I have to answer that question?
For the rest of the fans, best cheesecake in the world.
Junior's. Downtown Brooklyn. Best cheesecake in the world. The creamiest cheesecake I've eaten. I'm going to turn on my light. Hold on.
I'm more of a fan of Aunt Butchie's. It used to be Junior's, but I'm more of a fan of Aunt Butchie's cheesecake.
I disagree.
All right, fair enough. I don't know that. No Junior's. I used to, because that was right up on Flatbush Avenue. And I would go there with my college friends. We'd go in, get Junior's cheesecake, and that was just die for. Just amazing.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the good question is, best New York pizza.
That's tough.
That's controversial.
Okay, now here's the thing. You have to put it into a certain category.
Best Napolitan pizza.
Okay, so you're talking about regular slice, not
slice,
Sicilian,
round
regular.
pizza. Yeah.
Me being from Brooklyn and Bensonhurst, it's DeFaras.
I'll give you that.
He's the king of the regular slice, in my opinion, as far as New York is concerned. I mean, right now, oh my goodness, what the hell? Lucao is supposed to be the best round slice in New York City, and it's down in Carroll Gardens, and there's a rave about it. I haven't gotten a chance to get there yet. But for me, growing up, still my favorite pizza to this day, even though the old man doesn't do it anymore. But the children took over there. But for me, the Flowers is still the best round slice in the city.
About Nick.
There's so many different pizzerias. It's very hard to say. If you want to go to Brooklyn, in Brooklyn, I tended to, growing up, I liked Da Vinci's. That was one of my favorite ones on 18th Avenue in Bensonhurst there.
Neighborhood place, yep.
Yeah, that was a good place. What's the place in Coney Island? Right, they only made the pies. I forget the name of it. Platono, that was good when the kids took it over. I heard it's different now, but I haven't been there in quite a few years. But that was good out there. And then now we have our regular places out here we go to. You know?
So my favorite
places on Staten Island too, man.
But the best I'm gonna tell you the best pizza. The best pizza on Staten Island is Bart Paluca, his backyard.
In the pizza oven.
He makes the pizza. You can't beat that.
I'll drink
pizza.
for that.
But it's not for sale.
The best pizza in my
you want to know the real deal is right there.
The best pizza in my book, and it's been around since I was about 12 years old. So let's say 50 years. Okay, is Umberto's on Long Island, New Hyde Park. Okay, Umberto's Pizza.
Great place.
Just
great place. Very good.
And I learned my older brother still lives up in Long Island. And every time I go there, we have to go to Umberto's. All right, we got to get the pizza. And he loves the Sicilian. They make great Sicilian pizza too. But the
official pizza of the New York Giants.
And they exactly, they shipped the pizza to the New York Giants during a Super Bowl. Okay?
Yes, they
And
do. Very good.
that was, and there's a reason for that because how good it is. But I learned last year, all these years that I've known this place, and I remember it being a hole in the wall when I was a kid. It was 25 cents a slice, right? And then eventually he grew and he bought the store next door, and he bought the store next door. He had like 3 storefronts. Built
Right.
as a catering hall. I mean, it just became this monstrosity over the years. But he's never sacrificed the quality of his food in that whole journey. And what I learned last year, what makes that pizza so special, it's not that he makes his own dough, all right, which really good pizza places will make their own dough. He makes his own cheese, which is unheard of these days. They make their own cheese to put on the pizza, and that it's got that nice oils coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the typical New York round pizza. You go like this, you squeeze it together, and you got to put a napkin underneath the oils. Just amazing.
The New York fold.
The New York fold.
It's the truth. The New York fold. And hey, listen, if you either have the New York flop or the New York fold. The New York fold.
That's it, man. If it flops, you got a problem.
Right. At the end of the day, then it's football pizza, as we call it. Yeah, we call football pizza for flops. It's that doughy, crappy. No, get it out. Do me a favor, take it back. I don't want it. Either give it to me well done then, or I don't want it. If it's gonna flop and the cheese is gonna slide off, I'm gonna burn the roof of my mouth. I'm not interested. But again, that's what sets Umberto's aside from everybody else. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, I consider myself, besides being a cigar aficionado, I consider myself to be a pizza connoisseur because I love my pizzas. And I grew up on pizza, and I could eat pizza every single day of the week without fail, out of the refrigerator cold or hot out of the oven. But for me, it's quality ingredients. Quality ingredients. That's the one thing that New York stands by, and it's always stood by, is the quality ingredients. You got to have the good cheese, you got to have the good sauce, and you got to have the good dough. If you don't have those 3 combinations, you could be 50 different ways in Manhattan. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You're selling to tourists at the end of the day.
That's right.
People who live here know where the good pizzerias are at.
Now, you're wearing, Ray, you're wearing a Bronx Bombers hat. So I'm taking you are a big Yankees fan.
Just in case anybody doesn't know who the Bronx Bombers are. Yes, sir.
Okay. This year we're, short season. I'm glad baseball's back. I've been watching the games. I think they're really odd with nobody in the stands, but each stadium's having their own cool guys, cardboard cutouts, and some and others not, and sounds. And I've been following the whole AL East, because that's obviously where I'm in. And Tampa Bay has been on this tear this year, right? And there's no room this year for I'm going to go in a slump and I'm going to have a run, right? I mean, we only got 25 days season. But my theory on why the Tampa Bay Rays are doing so well, and see if you agree with this, is if you watch the games being played in Tampa, when you go to a Tampa Bay Rays game normally, it's a closed stadium, right? And all these people come in, all the fans, they got these cowbells. They're annoying as hell, right? They all ring their right? It's a big thing. And it's a very loud stadium when they do that. Well, there's no fans there. What they did is they have the same track, okay, just in between pitching, right? They play that soundtrack of the cowbells. And it's annoying. I think it's annoying the crap out of all the players on the other side. It's like, oh my God, there they are again. There's nobody in the stands, right? And I think they're winning because of that, because the Tampa Bay Rays have been giving you guys a headache.
They're giving us. They've been our kryptonite this year for some reason. You know what's funny too, though? They probably have the worst. Besides the Marlins, they probably have the worst attendance in baseball as far as getting fans to the stadium is concerned. And when the Yankees usually go down and play Tampa, 80% of the stadium are Yankee fans. And
Tampa Bay is a place
retirees that move to Florida that go to Yankee games
No, Tampa Bay is a destination. Independent of what we're at right now with the Stogie shit. What happens in Tampa is that when the Red Sox play Tampa or the Yankees play Tampa, there are a lot of fans in those teams that they don't have season tickets to the regular games, right? They take a trip to Tampa for a long weekend. They go down to Florida, hang out for a weekend. They're on the beach, and then they go to the game. The cost of the airfare, the hotel, and the games are less than going to a single game in some of those stadiums on a weekend because
Absolutely.
It's anyway.
Absolutely.
You can't find you might find a Yankee Rays. You're never going to find a Yankee Red Sox ticket cheap, right? It just doesn't exist.
Nah, it's tough.
Well, if you know a guy, you know.
4.5 hour game, 5 hour games, yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Listen, you know, you call up Frankie or Tony, hey, listen, I need tickets for the Red Sox Yankees. You know, what's the going rate? You know what I mean? And, you know, sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't. Depends on what the price is. You know what I mean?
That's it. So we'll come back around on this for a minute. What I want to do here, this is typically in the show where I go back into what's new in the week on Stogie Press with reviews and news. So as far as reviews go this week, we had a few of them, and I'm going to go into a different page here. So we came out with a review on some cigars that people may not have heard of. One of which was the Shady, the Brothers Keeper. So this is a cigar from the local Florida brand, small brand called the Shafiat Collection. It's called the Brothers Keeper. His thing is he is in the business to stop human trafficking. So a percentage of his sales go to that charity. This was a spectacular cigar in his lineup. This is a new one that he has. Absolutely beautiful cigar. If you like Habano, this is a Habano Oscuro with a Nicaraguan filler and a binder. He's at $12 a cigar. And you can just see it's almost got like a quad cap on it here. And this is a beautiful burn, nice ash. We basically have a mild wavy thing going on in the middle, but other than that, there's nothing wrong with this cigar. It's a spectacular cigar. The second one that we did was a company called Leon Cigars. Now, Leon Cigars, this is a guy, he's African, from West Africa. He now lives in Canada. He's like, bills himself as the first African cigar maker. And he sent me some samples a while back. I finally got around to reviewing them. So this is the first one I reviewed was also Habano. This is his Robusto, all right? It's a decent looking cigar, got some nice marbling, a little bit of oiling to the wrapper. This uses a Habano 2000. He did not disclose what the binders and the fillers were. It's got a pigtail cap on it, so it's neatly finished. There's a lot of story behind his logo here, which you can read about. Problem with this cigar is it carried a nice ash, and then it started to go off the rails, had issues here, started to burn off, and that's really where he started to lose a lot of the points. In addition to the fact that he had kind of a harsh start, which is something I don't always get with a cigar, but this kind of was harsh to begin with, and then it had some pasty notes, and even what I call a papery note. So some flavor-wise, it just wasn't fitting my profile. So here we gave him an 86. He's very gracious in the review. He actually is taking the notes and going back to talk to his factory and discuss something with them. So I like it when they do that. The other one we did is one of the most talked about cigars this year is the J.C. Newman Yagua. Now, this is a cigar. This is the new 2020 release from J.C. Newman. Yagua is translates into the royal palm that we know in Florida and the Caribbean islands, especially Cuba. And the general manager of their factory Wanted to create a cigar going back to his family farm back in Cuba in the day, where they would actually take these cigars instead of using molds. They would put them all together and they wrap it tight inside of the Yagua, of the royal palm, not the fronds, but actually if you peel the palm, you would wrap that around it, kind of like bark, if you will. It wraps around it, and it creates each cigar has kind of a unique shape to it, even though it's about the size of a Toro. You can see here, see this weird shape it has? Fine. I had some people tell me there was one that had a kind of right angle to it, but this one here turned out to be a decent cigar, a nice ash cone. It's an ugly cigar. It doesn't win any beauty contests. Did have a little off burn that had to deal with some touch ups. So we gave this one a 91, but flavor wise, it was chock full of flavor. So this is a flavor powerhouse. So very nice, very nice blend from them. I just was a little worried about the burn. I only had one, but if I get more, I might relook at this one. And then we also talked about another cigar company that a lot of people don't know about. It's a company called Hoot and Young. Now, Hoot and Young is also based out of Florida, Central Florida area. They also have a whiskey line that you can find, and most of it's in the Central Florida, Lower Georgia area right now. They have whiskey and cigars that they sell, and these guys are actually one of the founders of this was a former Delta Force Master Sergeant who was actually part of the Mogadishu event with Black Hawk Down. He was there. So that's the story behind this. So this cigar actually named the Gothic Serpent was the name of the mission when they went to Mogadishu. I mentioned in here they lost a lot of brothers here. People take a moment and think about that. But a beautiful cigar. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Reddish brown wrapper. This thing just had everything you want. Nice ash. Very decent burn cone. A little bit of an off burn that once it was touched up, everything went well. So we gave this one a 92. And of course, the last one that we did, which came out yesterday, was your cigar, what I call the Mystery Habano Corona. All right. So for those that have not seen Stogie Press in the last 48 hours, this is Cigar Clown's Mystery Habano Corona. This is their second drop. This is their logo. So what do you have in your mouth Friday night? I like that. This is just a spectacular cigar. I mean, look at the dark leaf in that. I mean, I get impressed with this. No, sometimes I see that, it excites me, and then it doesn't work. But it worked with it. Anyway, you can see the burn. It did stop. It did drop early on the first run of the burn, but the burn cone for a Corona was amazing. And then that ash picked up a little bit. Had a couple of drops along the way. No big deal. Absolutely clean burn all the way through. As close to pristine as you're going to get. Flavor-wise, it hits you with some pepper in the beginning. There's this cocoa that comes in and a little bit of cinnamon and pepper kind of morphed into that. You get some fruits, some maple syrup aromas, earth. Gets more cocoa at the end. This is I just enjoyed this cigar immensely. And before I did this review, I smoked the second one because I said, let me make sure I was right. All right. And I smoked the second one after writing it, and it performed exactly the same. I love this. Unfortunately, these are not available anymore, so you have to take my word for it, everybody. But this gives you an idea of what these guys are putting in your mouth if you are part of the Cigar Clowns Facebook group. So get involved. check these guys out. You'll have an opportunity to buy 5 packs of these tremendous cigars they're finding. The other thing that we have done is there's the cigar news of the week. So we put out the episode 23 back onto our YouTube channel for DAV cigar episode we had. Crown Heads did something interesting. They're bringing back what they call old Nashville. They're releasing what's called the Wabash Cannonball. The Wabash Cannonball has a lot of historical references. It was a mystical train that would go across country. It was also a roller coaster in Nashville, a very famous roller coaster. So they kind of went forward with this. Actually, Johnny Cash did a whole song, redid the song on the Wabash Cannonball. You can watch it here if you want. This is a cigar I want to get my hands on. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. And then Protocol Cigars, our good friends Juan Cancel and Keith, they came out with Cyber Crimes Unit cigar. I love the names that Protocol comes up with. The color on this, they really their colors, but this one here, this green, is really going to pop on a shelf. Look at this on a cigar shelf. You'll see this thing. It's going to draw your attention to that cigar, if nothing else. So this is a Nicaraguan Rosado Habano with Nicaraguan fillers. So this is a Puro. Made at Eric Espinosa's Zona factory. Looking forward to see that hit the market. Glad to see cigars are starting to come out again. El Artista announced a Dominican Republic exclusive. So this cigar is only for the Dominican Republic. This is an Cimarron brand. It's a box pressed I believe. And I've had this cigar. This cigar is actually a nice cigar, but this Vitola I have not had, and it's only available in the Dominican. They're trying to pay to their home. So that's the news and reviews on Stogie Press. Let me stop that share. We'll get back to us. So anyway, I see. So everybody, you got to get involved with these folks. If you really like ultra rare cigars, if you like to collect things that other people don't have, and you want to put in your humidor for a while, a lot of these, you've all told me, are aged between 1 to 5 years, if I understand correctly.
Correct.
Now, what is your experience when it comes to aged cigars? Did you smoke a lot of aged cigars?
Yes.
So help the audience understand how the age profile works over time. What is your experience on how it gets better? Does it flatten out? Does it vary by leaf?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example is my friend Nick here had an original box of T52 by Drew Estate. What was the age on that, Nick? 12 years?
Something around that.
So we opened the box. Nick obviously was gracious enough to share with a couple of us. I had smoked the T52 in regular production the day before, I believe. And I would say probably as far as the regular line Ligas I would consider would be T52 is probably my favorite cigar in the regular line besides the Unico series. So we smoked that cigar. He popped that out. I mean, the T52 label was yellow. The cellophane was dark brown. I mean, you want to talk about a cigar that aged perfectly in perfect humidity conditions. It was something that I never tasted before, right? So now for me, and I'm sure Nick would agree with me, certain cigars age very well. Some cigars after a certain point start to drop off. We opened the box of, what did we have, Nick? Was it the Dirty Rat or was it the Radzilla that you opened after that? That was an original release.
No, the UF-13.
UF13s. We smoked. They were aged about what, 10 years?
Just about maybe a little less than that, but
Completely lost
definitely
all
aged
of its
a good number.
Yeah, completely lost all of its oomph, and it was good, but it wasn't anything spectacular like that T52. Probably, I would say that T52 that he opened, that was an original release for us, just using it as an example. So what you're talking about was probably one of the best cigars I've ever smoked, in my opinion, age wise. For me,
So
you know,
when
it kind of depends.
So when it comes to aging cigars, I've aged cigars many years. I have cigars that people look for out there, but I always share my cigars with anyone that's looking for something. If I have and I can help you out, I'm always there if I can. We'll do a trade or something. But the one thing that I've learned over the years with the aging of the cigars, you'll lose some of the pepper notes if it's a real peppery cigar, but you get more flavor out of the cigar. So when you smoked it the first time, you get a certain flavor. Then you wait a year or so or 2 years, you get a different flavor. And then over the years, as you smoke it again, you get a different cigar almost every time. Because of the aging, you do lose some notes, but you gain more flavor. That's how I kind of look at it when it comes to aging cigars.
Now, have you? Are you fans of Opus X's?
I'm not a huge fan, I would say, but I do have a box from the Sharks from 2006. Once in a blue moon, I'll go and grab one, or if somebody likes them, I'll grab them one.
So the experience with Opus,
I'm not a big fan of the Opus.
But the reason I bring it up is because Opus, Fuente will tell you that the Opus X's don't need to be aged. Opus X's right out of the box are ready to go. Okay, they've already been pre-aged to be smoked. There's a lot of debate on that in the industry. Some people say no, they like to age them longer. When you smoke those 2006 Sharks, do you see them getting any different? They losing some of their own? What is your experience with an Opus?
To be very honest, I don't feel you lose much. I think you gain a little bit more on the Opus. When it comes to the Opus, like I said, I'm not a big fan of them, but I do like the Shock. If I had to go pick a Opus out, and they've aged well. They're very tasty. That particular box, but there's a lot of different cigars out there that I'll grab before I grab that, and there's different reasons why. But like I'm a fan of that stronger cigar, which Opus does put out. But I like at Toro Fuentes their other stuff, their other lines. Compared to that, I like them better. But that's just my profile. I always say to everyone, there's no such thing as a bad cigar, because somebody's gonna like that cigar. It could be $1 cigar to $100 cigar. Somebody's gonna like that cigar, because not every cigar is for everybody. So, it has it changed? Somewhat of a change, not much. I just want to say one thing, Jimmy. I really appreciate you helping us through this journey on finding that perfect stick. Your palate means a lot to us, and we're happy to continue to work with you and get your input. And for everybody else out there, please make sure to follow us on the Facebook, the Instagram, get on that contest. These sticks, you do want to get yourselves your hands on them. You do not want to miss out, because like we've said, once we get these batches, once they're gone, they're gone. And that's it. But thank you again for having us, and we really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining out there. Thank you for staying in. Go to Cigar Clowns on Facebook, Cigar Clowns on Instagram. Like them. And if you need an invite, let me know. I will more than likely invite you, because I'm part of them, and I can invite you to the group. and I'm sure they will accept you because it's coming from me. So reach out to me. I'll get you involved in this. Let's go find that perfect cigar. All right, guys.
Jimmy, thank you. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.